Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So tomorrow's ratings are free for everybody, so you can come on and have a look at the ratings. You'll notice that they are all unlocked, so do get using those ratings. I think I found 5 tomorrow at Sandown. The only race I'm not interested in is the first one, where Diva Luna should be winning this. They've got high hopes for her. They think she could run in the Mayor's Novice. She would definitely be needing to win this if she's got any chance in the Mayor's Novice. But she is expected to win this, and she's probably a bit bigger price than what maybe you might have thought she was going to open. I think they've opened her at 4 to 5. Let's just have a look on my other screen. Just waiting for it to load. Indeed, they have 4 to 5. I guess it's all about how good is this Castle Carrock. She should be beating the rest. I think she should be winning that. It may be worth having a look at that in terms of, is that a good price at 4 to 5? Sometimes, you know, you can find these maidens that, or novices that really should be shorter than that. And these were good figures, to be fair to her. Maybe she is a decent price at 4 to 5. She's not going to be an official one on our videos here. We will move on to the next race for the first one of those. Actually, we're going to skip that and we're going to come back to the 150. We're going to start on the 225. Where I highlighted this horse earlier this week. I said this was one I was looking out for Friday. That is Helnven, and he's been declared. And I think he takes all of the beating, to be honest. Some of his form was very good last season. Well, most of his form was very good, wasn't it? 4th to Lump Sum in a Grade 2. Obviously, Lump Sum's done all right. Fiercely Proud was 2nd, has done all right. Then went and finished 2nd to Secret Squirrel in a novice hurdle. Obviously, Secret Squirrel won the big handicap at Windsor recently. Then went to Sandown for the Novices Championship final and beat Be Aware and Still Alley. I mean, that form has worked out really well. Recently finished 2nd to Telepathique over Fences. Again, that form has worked out well. Telepathique has come out and won since off a £12 higher mark, beating Movidi really comfortably. I mean, that form looks rock solid, doesn't it? And then last time out, okay, it was a bit disappointing last time out in a handicap chase when sent off the 6 to 5 favourite in a novice handicap chase. Now, that was against Vincenzo. Vincenzo is up 4, Helnven stays on the same mark, but I think the step up and trip will suit... not the step up and trip. The return to Sandown will suit Helnven. Helnven, that's probably the best bit of form that Helnven has shown, was beating Be Aware and Still Alley at Sandown, over 2 mile, over hurdles, now over fences. I think they would be very disappointed if Helnven gets beat tomorrow. Yeah, it didn't quite go to plan last time out. Just got to forgive that one run. Would be shorter if it hadn't disappointed there. It would be odds on if you came into this off the back of that Telepathique race, Helnven would be odds on. And I'm always happy to forgive just the one run. Currently priced up at 13 to 8 and 13 to 8 and 11 to 8. I think we'll get about that. We'll probably get 6 to 4, which will be fine, because I think he should actually be odds on. Moving on to the next one that we're going to talk about is the 3 o'clock, which is the Grand Military Gold Cup. And look through this race, I can't see why Farceur de Large, I imagine that said, doesn't win this again. Won it last year off a mark of 130, same jockey on board. They beat Broken Halo. I think Broken Halo was probably a better rival than what Farceur de Large has to take on this time. There's no reason why Farceur de Large doesn't, take all of the beating again. Then ran in some decent races, finished 5th in a Midlands National, beaten by Beauport, Mr. Incredible, My Silver Lining, Autumnus Cloud. Nothing wrong with that performance in terms of it was probably that was probably a very good effort, to be fair. 4th in a Staffordshire Plate at Uttoxeter. Came back in the Peter O'Sullivan off a mark of 132. They tried, it didn't work. Finished 7th, always behind, over 2 mile 6. Back up to 3 mile, back at Sandown in a significantly easier race. Same jockey on board who rode him at Sandown the last twice, in actual fact. Won the Royal Artillery Gold Cup and won the Military Gold Cup last year. should take all of the beating again. Currently priced at 6-4, I think. Let's have a look. Let's load up all of the races that we're interested in. 3 o'clock. Currently priced at 6-4. Again, can't see any reason why that one doesn't take all of the beating. Neither of those first two are big prices. 6-4, you're probably going to get about the pair. 6-4, 6-4. I think both of them win. So yeah, I don't mind those prices at all, to be honest. Moving on to the 335. Now, I'm going to do two here because I highlighted both of these previously, and they've both been declared. Now, I normally wouldn't do two in an 8-runner race, but I feel that we've got big enough prices about the pair of them that whichever one wins, we're going to do all right still. Starting off with Ilve de Soie. Lots of French horses. What have we had? Helmven, Farceur de Large. We've then got Ilve de Soie and Spirit d'Onu coming up. So, why do I like Ilve de Soie? Harry Derham ran this last time out at Cheltenham a little while ago now. I was surprised it hasn't run since. It was back in November. Finished 5th over 2 mile 5 under Alice Stevens. And to be fair, I thought that was a really strong race. The 6th place horse, American Sniper's actually come out and won. All of those at the front, double powerful. What was he on, a 6-timer? I think the 3rd was on a 5-timer. The runner-up was the Irish Could Be Anything, Young Lucy. 4th was Tune in a Box, who'd been in good form. The race was one that I was really... I was watching to see who finished near the front, and whoever did was going to be interesting next time. And Ilve de Soie just looked like the horse needed the run. That was his first time back for 205 days. A lot of the others had runs. It was a Class 3. I felt that was a really strong Class 3, though. Those horses that were all coming into it in great form. Ilve de Soie, you know, had previously been in good form, had got a couple of wins at Uttoxeter and Chepstow. Nothing wrong with that. And ran a really good race on return. That was off 1-2-2. Runs again off 1-2-2. Brendan Powell takes over. I think Ilve de Soie is going to go really close here. There's no reason for Ilve de Soie to disappoint, in my opinion. Currently available at 5s and 9-2. Now, I felt that was a fair price on the basis that I think it's progressive. I think he ran in the strongest race last time, and I think we'll run a really big race here. If Ilve de Soie does disappoint, the horse who's definitely well handicapped here is Spirit d'Onu, who may well just need this 2.5 mile trip now. And to be fair, the last time out effort at Newbury was a good effort behind Zipko, who's since run well again, Mr. Hope Street and Mr. Branley. Both of those came into that race looking like they were quite well handicapped and progressive and unexposed. Spirit d'Onu ran a really good race for 4th that day off a mark of 130. The handicapper actually dropped him £1 for that, which I thought was very kind. And crucially, I feel here, the horse is coming back to Sandown. He has some good form at Sandown, including winning a handicap off 129 in December 2023. Yeah, that was over 2 mile, and now we're up to 2.5. But that's probably what the horse needs at this point in his career. He now needs 2.5. No issues with the horse. If Freddie wants to go forward again, go forward. He'll probably find it's an easier race, less unexposed rivals compared to last time. And I feel that they're the two to be on in this race, Spirit d'Onu and Ilve de Soie. And if you can get 10s about Spirit d'Onu and 5s about Ilve de Soie, I think you've got two there with great chances. And if Ilve de Soie wins, you are +4 for the race. You know, you would be +5 if you just backed the one, but you'd be +4 for the race. And I feel that's perfectly acceptable. And if Spirit d'Onu wins, you're obviously +9 for the race, which again is very respectable. Moving on to the 410 at Sandown. Who do I like here? Let's just wait for our computer to catch up. Marlaku. I'm surprised at the price of Marlaku, to be honest. Initially opened up at 5s. Do you know what? I think this one was the right gamble last time out. So Marlaku was a beaten favourite when falling last time out at, where was it? Let's have a look. At Wetherby, over 2 miles 3. He went off 11-8 favourite that day, but some of his previous form he deserves to be that sort of price off this handicap mark of 108. Second, 2 runs ago, behind Road Less Travelled. Road Less Travelled is rated 137 and was last seen going off 15-2 for a Grade 1, having won a Grade 2. I mean, that's really good form. You go back further, finished third to Captain Marvellous and Pure Carbon. Captain Marvellous has form with the likes of Caliph de Burley in a Grade 2, behind Gimme 5 and Caliph de Burley. That's all much better form than this handicap mark. I mean, Gimme 5 is rated 130. Caliph de Burley is now rated 151 over fences, 135 over hurdles. Marlaku's running here off 108. He's been let in so lightly on the basis that he's still young, he's still progressive. They gambled him last time and it went wrong because he fell. But he fell at the 5th. It was so early that we've no idea how he was going to get on. He's only a 4-year-old, or now he's a 5-year-old. He's a very young horse. I think there's loads more to come from Marlaku, and I feel that 108 is completely wrong. It's got to be in the 120s, I feel, for Marlaku. And the fact that they've opened bizarrely at 5s, that's going to go off shorter than that. I think Marlaku's going to go off favourite here as well. As soon as we can get some other bookmakers pricing this race up, hopefully they go a similar price to what Bet365 have gone in 5-1. And the final horse we're going to talk about is back in the 150, Casalupi. Now, Casalupi is a mental price, opened at 20s outside of the field. If we can get around that, I'll be delighted. There's a few things to think about with Casalupi. So Gary Moore does his horses run okay here. In actual fact, that's Gary and Josh Moore. Gary Moore's horses run quite well here. Now, this horse is running back over 2 mile, and I think that's key here. Look at his form. Let's go through it. So we can see that was 2.5 and recorded a relatively low R figure. Fell over 2.5, well beaten over 2.5. Still, the R figure wasn't disastrous in terms of the what the others have done. 124 over 2.5, pulled up over 2.5, 136 over 1 mile 6, but that was on the flat. 123.5 over 2 mile, 144.4 over 2 mile, 141.1 over 2 mile, and 141.9 over 2 mile 2 furlongs. It's the drop back in trip that's caught my eye here. Massively dropped in trip, and because of that, or because of the relatively poor form over further, has dropped significantly in the weights. This run here, when 6th at Chepstow, was disappointing. 6 of 11 at Chepstow over 2 mile, off a mark of 131, is now running off a mark of 107. Granted, that was a little while ago, but I feel that's the key to this horse, is coming back to this 2 mile trip after this, back to his juvenile hurdles days. Second to Stepney Causeway at Stratford was good form. Then went and won at Plumpton by 24 lengths, went off 1-7. Then went and beat Confirmation Bias in a novice hurdle, went off 1-3, 2-5, sorry. It's not that they were rubbish horses, it's that he was so highly regarded at that point. Second in a juvenile hurdle behind Tritonic, only beaten a length. He was just much, much better at that point as a juvenile. And yeah, he's lost his way. But I feel the key thing is he's coming back to 2 mile. If that works, and he comes back to anywhere near his best, he's not going to be, he would take all of the beating here. And if we can get anything like 16s, 18s, 20s about Casalupi, I'm going to have a bet on that, because I think that could be the wrong price for this trip. It's the trip that's key here for me, and hopefully we can see Nathan go forward on this horse and say, look, I'm the best horse in the race, or I was the best horse, try and pass me now. So they're going to be my selections for tomorrow. Let's quickly go back through them again. Helmven, I think should be odds on. 13 to 8 and 11 to 8 looks fair. 6 to 4 will be ideal. Farser, Delage, can't see any reason why it doesn't win again. It's won twice already under Major Will Kellard at the course over this 3-mile trip. No reason to say he doesn't run another big race. Ilve de Swat probably came from one of the most competitive Class 3 handicaps at Cheltenham. Finished 5th behind the right horses. Spirit Donu is coming back to Sandown. Up in trip slightly, but last time out went 4th. That was a good run. Has dropped in the handicap since. Marlaku should not be 5s. I think that horse should be favourite, and I feel that there's about £10 to play with Marlaku. And finally, if Casalupi bounces back to his best, or anywhere near his best, back over this 2-mile trip, he would go really well, and he's a massive price at 20 to 1.